Hey, it's Ollie here. Time for scale tip number 6. Now, this is the show where I teach you how I went from 6 figures a year to 6 figures a month as a coach. Now, I want to tell you something really funny before we get into today's scale tip. Woke up this morning and checked my Facebook, and someone had just written the word cock on one of my previous Facebook Lives. I mean, what do you even do with that? I mean, I don't understand why some people just need to just do things like that. But yeah, that's one of the things you can expect when you do regular posts on social media. Anyway, moving into today's tip. So, is your revenue stuck? Do you feel like no matter how hard you push, how hard you work, you're stuck at a certain revenue level? Well, look, this happened to me. Okay, it's happened to me a couple of years ago, and it's the most frustrating feeling ever. In fact, I've had it where, I'll work way harder one month and make less money. And it feels like you're going crazy because when you started your business, you felt like you had this really smooth ramp upwards, and you went from nothing to, a few grand a month to 10 grand a month to 20 grand a month or whatever it is. And then at some point, your business hits a plateau. Most frustrating thing ever. Well, I'm going to tell you how to get out of this loop, and it's really simple, and you're going to find it really valuable. So, one of the reasons why you're stuck right now is because you're doing pretty much the same thing every single month to create the output and the revenue in your business. All right, that's the bottom line. That's the first thing to understand. So, if you think about the actions you take and the stuff you sell each month, is it relatively the same? Right, maybe you have a course that sells well, or a program that sells well, or something sells well, and you use similar methods to sell it, whether it's, webinars, videos, emails. Maybe it changes, maybe the offer changes a bit, but the price point stays kind of the same. You're doing kind of the same stuff each month, right? Have a think about it. How similar is your stuff you do each month? Well, in order to grow, right, the number one thing you need is more leads. Right, you need more leads. In other words, you need more people coming into your world to buy your stuff. Right? Because if you have more people buying your stuff, you'll get more sales, and therefore you'll get more revenue. So one thing I tried to do, right, when I wanted to grow my business, I was stuck at about 20, 25, 30k a month, and just couldn't get past it for a while. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go crazy. And I'm going to get loads of leads in one go, and this is going to help me catapult my revenue. And I was trying so hard to push forward. So I said to my bank, right, I want a credit card. Okay, 20 grand on this credit card. And I spent 20 grand on a webinar. Okay, one webinar, 20 grand worth of leads. I spent that over about 7 days, and because of that, obviously the cost per lead was just insane, right? It went up really high, but I thought, screw it, I want loads of leads. I want to grow. So did the webinar, and broke even on the ad spend, which is good, right? For, when I was spending that much per lead, it was like £20 a lead or something, $20 per lead. And broke even on the ad spend. But guess what happened to my revenue? There was a little bump, right? A little bump. And then it just continued back to where it was before the next month. So the point is, if you keep doing the same thing, right? And then you, in your business, and you try and grow, then the best that's going to happen is you're going to have a little bump, because you can't sustainably get more leads by doing the same thing you're doing right now. Right? It's very unlikely that you can do that. Right? The only way to do that would be to go to the bank and get a 500k loan and spend 50k a month on advertising and getting leads, and get more leads into your business, get them to buy more of the stuff that you're selling. Right? And that's really obviously not advisable. So how do we do this? How do we unlock this glass ceiling above your head in your business and smash through it and enable you to grow your revenue? Well, this is what I did, and this worked really well, and this works really well for a lot of coaches. So you need to make a change, a fundamental change to the strategy of your business. And specifically, I'm talking about your offer. If you can find some way of charging more for the thing that you sell, so every single customer gives you more money, right? The lifetime value per customer is higher, then you will make more revenue each month, and you will also get more cash in the business so you can spend more on advertising. When you can spend more on advertising, you can get more leads. That's how your revenue will grow. So here's what I did. All right, I offered relatively similar thing to what I was offering before. Okay, so in this particular business I'm talking about, it was a coaching business teaching people how to sell on Amazon. Okay, and before I sold a course, I had like 8 modules. You know, how to set up your account, how to find products, how to ship them, blah blah blah. Right, that was the thing I was selling originally. I made one tweak to it and I said, all right, instead of teaching people how to do everything, let's add an element of done for you stuff to this offer, right? So rather than find the products yourself, let's find the products for you. We'll give you a product, right? Some done for you stuff. And instead of just being videos, let's add some kind of coaching element to it. So it's almost like a workshop where you get 4 weeks of coaching, and it's more valuable because you get help, right? It's a big group, so it's not as difficult. This small tweak made the offer way more valuable, so we could charge 3 times as much for it. And we also offered like 90-day options and 6-month options as well, so we could charge 5 times as much, 10 times as much for some of the programs. So making a few tiny tweaks to what we offered enabled us to maximize the revenue per customer. So same amount of leads, same advertising, same everything, but the amount per transaction was massive. Like, it was so much bigger. This gave us more money coming in. Then, because we had more money coming in, we had surplus cash, right, from the same advertising spend, then we could ramp up the advertising spend and consistently spend a lot more every month. So we went from spending, 10K a month on advertising every month, and that just being fine, to consistently spending 20, 30K per month on advertising, and that's still being fine because we were making the money back. So what happens is, first of all, you can up the spend because you're getting more cash per sale, a higher cart value, and then you can sustain it because as you spend more, what happens is you get even more leads, right? And then you get even more sales at a higher value, and then you can spend even more advertising, and this is how you outspend your competition, right? Because what happens is, in a lot of niches, all the competition ends up selling kind of similar stuff, right? If you look at, for example, the niche I was in, right, the Amazon coaching niche, everyone was selling like a 997 or an 897 course with a load of modules, right? So we differentiated and offered something better with a done for you option and a bit of coaching, and it was unique, different. We could charge more. So if you can find that thing to tweak your offer to charge more, you'll stand out. People will buy your products. It's better than everyone else's. Right? It might be different for your niche, it might be something else, but if you can charge more per customer, you'll get higher lifetime value. Then you can spend more on leads. You can spend more than the competition to acquire a customer. That will enable you to increase your revenue. All right, hopefully today I've given you something to think about, because this is what enabled me to grow my business and go from 6 figures a year to 6-figure months. And if you just make this tweak, just find something to tweak your offer and charge more per sale, it will have a huge impact, I promise. So please try this one. And if you want more help from me to grow your business, I've got something free to give you. So I charge money for my Scale book, right? It's called Scale, the 2 ancient marketing systems that all 7-figure coaches use to grow their business, right? And it walks you through some of this stuff that business owners have been using for hundreds of years, that the biggest coaches on the planet use to grow their business. It also applies to consultants, course creators, anyone who sells information, and some businesses that sell other stuff too. It can work in e-commerce as well. You can have this book for free. All you have to do is type Scale in the comments below, and I'll send it to you. And also you'll get a free training which teaches you how to use non-linear coaching to work with hundreds of clients at once, and only have to do a couple hours coaching per week, and be able to charge way more for your programs and implement some of the stuff we talked about in today's Facebook Live. So if this helped, please share it with someone who also has a business and wants to grow. I'm looking to just get this to the right people. This information isn't really for newbies. It's for people who have a 6-figure business and want to grow it. So if you could share it with someone, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate that. Type Scale in the comments if you want the book, and I'll see you tomorrow for Scale tip number 7.